I've got a great documentary recommendation for you today. It's called The Ivory Game. It's a Netflix original. It is very, very depressing. And the film goes to three different countries. This was actually executive produced by Leonardo DiCaprio. And it exposes the very horrifying underground world of ivory trafficking. This includes the poaching of elephants in Africa. This also includes fundraising in the UK to try to stop poaching. And it includes both sort of on the record and undercover footage in Hong Kong and China, which is one of the major ivory markets that remains in the world. It really is horrible. And I think it's super important to know that this is going on. But it's really, really depressing. And what's going on, these elephants being killed just for their tusks, elephants having armed guards because they are such targets for poachers. I'm guessing, Pat, since you're vegan, you're also anti-ivory, right?
I don't think there's many vegans who are pro-ivory, so
Yeah.
yes, that's a correct assessment.
Have you seen, Rachel, how these ivory tusks fetch just insane prices, and people consider it in some parts of the world, although in the US it's increasingly going out of style because I think there's a closer understanding of how it is that we get ivory. But Hong Kong and China, two of the major markets, people just love this stuff. They display it in their home. I would be ashamed to display ivory in my home because of what it represents and the violence it represents.
I think the education is causing the positive shift because it's historically seen as something that is such a status symbol.
Yeah.
But I feel like as people get more educated, they want to shift further away from it.
I completely agree with that. And it's horrifying when you see the ways also. China, for example, passed laws at a certain point which said you can't bring in new ivory. You can't bring in any new ivory. The ivory you have, you can sell, but you can't bring in new ivory. And the ivory dealers have figured out a way to completely circumvent this because they just retag new ivory as old ivory and then sell the old stuff. I mean, it's not a foolproof method by any means. And the undercover footage that they show here of being taken to these back rooms and asking, how am I going to get the ivory back to my country when it's international buyers that go to China? And the ivory dealers say, we deal with this all the time. We're going to help you. It's absolutely horrifying.
What's amazing now, too, is a lot of elephants are being born without tusks because that's an evolutionary advantage. They won't be the target of hunters.
We did that story on the bonus show. And by the way, one thing I did not mention when we did that story about as a result of poaching, elephants being increasingly born with and never developing tusks, that's also evidence of Darwinian evolution, which I know will upset many of the religious rightists that watch the show, which they are numerous. But yeah, and the way it works is if the elephants with the nicest tusks are most attractive to poachers, it's more likely that they will be killed before they have the opportunity to reproduce, meaning elephants with subpar or suboptimal tusks live longer, and it sort of creates this gene pool of elephants with worse and worse tusks living long enough to reproduce, and it eventually starts leading to, as we're seeing now, some elephants born without tusks. So absolutely horrifying, but very much worth knowing about. I am talking about the Netflix original documentary, The Ivory Game. You can check out this and all of my other recommendations at davidpakman.com/recommendations. And of course, the Indiegogo fundraiser is on at davidpakman.com/donate. We'll take some calls next.